You subscribe, Riot Flowers, now, or me bash you with rock.
Hey guys, it's me, Rat Flowers, and I love killing, in Dead by Daylight. There are a few killers in this game that have unique criteria for Moriing survivors and unique Mori interactions worked into their kit, including Jason, the most recent addition. But what other killers could feasibly have Moris worked into their kit, and what would they look like? That's what I'm going to discuss today. Trapper. Being DBD's mascot, you'd think the Trapper would be higher up on the killer hierarchy, but it's just not the case. This game is run by the same company that still thinks Sprint Burst is a balanced perk after all. Trapper is allegedly supposed to be getting major changes sometime in Year 11, so why shouldn't one of those changes be to give him a unique power Mori? When a survivor on Death Hook is caught in a trap, you could press the button that you normally press to pick them up directly, and instead of picking up the Death Hook survivor like normal, the Trapper would grab the back of the Death Hook survivor's head, stab his blade through the survivor's torso, right through their heart, then throw them down onto the ground, and they dead. It would make Trapper feel like the flagship, deadly, psycho serial killer that he's always been meant to be. The Huntress. Of course I have to bring out my Bunny Mama bias for a video like this. One of the changes myself and many others would love for the Huntress to get is for long-range shots, hatchets from 12 or more meters away, to be more rewarding, so as to reward getting higher and higher towards her skill ceiling. Huntress should get a new feature where, when she hits a Death Hook survivor from 12 or more meters away with a hatchet, they get the hatchet head embedded into their back until they are fully healed. If they are on the ground with the head still embedded in them, note that they do still get the head embedded in them on long-distance downs as well as injures, she gets to Mori them with a special short but sweet animation where she stomps the hatchet head deeper into them, which cleaves through their heart, killing them dead. This would make long-distance hits significantly more rewarding, and would also mean that, in-game, she can finally step on me. The Pig. Pig already has pressure and potential pre-hook death of survivors worked into her kit with her reverse bear traps, but this can be taken a step further. When a Death Hook survivor that has an active reverse bear trap on is downed, Pig could perform a unique Mori where she pins the survivor on the ground, briefly tampers with the head trap, and then it activates and instantly kills them, with Pig going right back to doing her thing afterwards. I'm not too familiar with Saw and how reverse bear traps work in that canon, but something like this would be pretty cool anyway. The Legion. Feral Frenzy 5th hit downs are a heavy rarity, so why not make them more rewarding? When a Death Hook survivor is downed with Feral Frenzy, they get marked until they are killed or healed. Legion can kill a survivor with this mark with a short Mori animation where they basically curb stomp the fuck out of the survivor until death. It'd be very in character for Legion, as they're basically just walking, talking Black Air Forces. You could even take this a step further and give each different Legion member their own unique animation differences just to showcase their different personalities. For example, Frank could stomp on the survivor's head far more aggressively than others. The Plague. Being a priestess and all, it's only right that Plague gets a power Mori of equal divinity. While a Death Hook survivor is downed and has maximum infection, while Plague has the Corrupt Purge, she can perform a unique Mori where she charges up a volley of red vomit and spits it up at the survivor's head, melting their head until there's nothing left of it. This would add a new layer of crucial decision-making for survivors, where they have to make a choice between potentially giving Plague easier access to a red vomit, or risk becoming a headless corpse if she happens to nuke you with a red vomit projectile after holding onto a reserved fountain. Ghostface is a killer that's pretty difficult to win with against competent survivors, so why not have that hard work rewarded in his base kit somehow? When a Deathhook survivor is downed once they are marked by Ghostface's power, they remain marked while in the dying state for the remainder of the mark timer. Deathhook marked survivors can be moried with a quick animation where Ghostface stomps on their neck, breaking it, while taking a picture of the dead survivor with his foot on their neck. Oni is a killer characterized by unadulterated brutality and rage, so it's only right that he gets to smash Deathhook survivors on the ground. Pause. When in Blood Fury, Oni can perform a special mori on a downed Deathhook survivor, where he straight up just bashes their back and head in with a single club strike, instantly killing them. Moriing a survivor this way would end Blood Fury, just like when picking up a survivor, just to keep things a little bit balanced. The Deathslinger. Like Huntress, Deathslinger is a ranged killer with a high-ass skill ceiling, so let's make that more rewarding. When downing a Deathhook survivor that you speared from 8 meters or further away, the harpoon remains lodged in them, and Deathslinger is able to mori them. The mori, similar to the one that Jason has, sees Deathslinger grab the harpoon, moving it around whilst the survivor is still impaled with it, causing their organs to become mush, then he yanks it out of them, leading to their death. Like with my suggestion for Huntress, this would encourage and reward skill expression with ranged shots, adding new layers to his gameplay. The Twins. The Twins have a relatively complex power that requires quite a bit of playtime to become effectiveness, so, again, why not reward it? When a Deathhook survivor with Victor attached to them is downed by Charlotte, Victor remains attached to them while they're floored until he's recalled by Charlotte, pulled off by another survivor, or until Charlotte initiates the power mori. The mori would consist of a quick animation of Victor tearing into the survivor's neck until death, then returning to Charlotte's chest cavity. This would be in character and rewarding, with downing a survivor while Victor is attached to them being a relatively rare occurrence in comparison to just downing an already injured survivor with a Victor pounce, since Charlotte is basically just an M1 killer when she doesn't have Victor on her. Trickster. Trickster's recently added style rank mechanic opens the door for many unique interactions, so why not add a mori as one of those interactions? When a Deathhook survivor is downed while the Trickster is in S rank or in main event mode, they become marked with their body covered in multicolor neon until they are either healed or killed. The unique mori on said marked survivor would consist of them getting onto their side to look back at Trickster, which he then throws a blade precisely at their neck, slashing open major blood vessels and killing them. Very stylish, very beautiful, very powerful. The Dredge. The eldritch horror that is the Dredge has lots of potential in its Nightfall mechanic, including the potential addition of a power mori. When a Deathhook survivor is downed while Nightfall is active, the Dredge can perform a quick mori where he quickly ganks the survivor into him, making them disappear to entity knows where. A very terrifying fate fit for a horrific mental abomination to give. The Mastermind. With Albert Wesker having as much of a superiority complex as he does, it's honestly a crime that he doesn't have a power mori yet. When a Deathhook survivor is downed and at full infection, Wesker can perform a short mori where he fiddles the survivor with his tendrils, pause, and makes the parasite violently explode out of them like a dropped bowl of spaghetti. This could even be taken a step further, to where when Wesker slams a Deathhook max infection survivor into a wall, he immediately throws them onto the ground behind him and performs that power mori. The Knight. Since downing a survivor with a guard is relatively rare nowadays, ever since the implementation of the distance chase duration penalty, guard downs should be more rewarding. When a Deathhook survivor is downed by a guard, the Knight can perform a short power mori where he stabs the sword down into the survivor's heart. You could even include the guard that got the down in the mori animation to make it more unique. For example, when a survivor is downed by the assassin, he will quickly carve an X into the survivor's torso before the knight himself finishes the survivor off. The Animatronic. Springtrap is already the fun one, so why not make him even more fun? When Springtrap performs an axe grab on a Deathhook survivor, he does the usual animation of screaming in the survivor's face, but immediately after that animation plays out, he snaps the survivor's neck and tosses them onto the ground. Axe grabs are arguably one of Springtrap's coolest mechanics, as they give you a choice between trying to go for grabbing the survivor, which makes the hooking process a lot smoother, or manually retrieving the axe so you have it if you need it in that chase. An axe grab Mori would be a great way to build upon that. You could even take this a step further and also have a Mori for when Springtrap catches a Deathhook survivor in the security room. Have it be an extension of the normal room grab animation where, instead of pulling the survivor out into the normal triangle grounds like usual, Springtrap will instead snap their neck and leave their body in the security room. The now dead survivor's body would be visible to all players in the security room whenever they teleport for the remainder of the trial. Teleportation is probably the greatest advantage that survivors have over Springtrap, with the risk of the rare occurrence of him catching and insta-grabbing them mid-teleport. This, again, would be a great way to build upon that interaction. The Krasue. For the final killer with a kit that warrants a special Mori, we have the Krasue. She's already a pretty gruesome killer, being a head with only a heart, lungs, and GI tract attached, so why not build upon that gruesomeness? When a Deathhook survivor that has Leech 2 is in the dying state, Krasue can perform a quick Mori animation where she quickly enters that form, if not in it already, and quickly rips out the dying survivor's heart with one of her intestines and eats it, which directly leads to the survivor's death. Survivors getting to maximum infection and being injured plus broken until they eat shrooms when against the Krasue is something that's fairly rare due to the abundance of said shrooms and the fact that hooked survivors completely lose that infection. Attaching a Mori for Deathhook survivors to full infection would make it significantly more rewarding, meaningful, and dangerous, aside from just injuring plus breaking the survivor. So, those are my suggestions for killers that could feasibly get a unique power Mori attached to their kit, and how it could be done. Let me know what you think in the comments. What other killers do you think could get power Moris? If you have any objections to my suggestions, etc. As always, like and subscribe helps me out in the algorithm, and helps out my narcissistic ego. I have been Rat Flowers, and in conclusion, fucking step on me, bunny mama.
Don't like this video. Did you just like it? You better not comment. You don't listen very well, do you? Did you just share it?